All right. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. My name is Yaqutullah Ibraheem Muhammad. I'm a registered dietitian with nutrition prescriptions based in Atlanta, Georgia. Today, we're back for our second session, and we are going to discuss fitness and foods before and after fasting. So, this is really going to be a discussion about fueling your body for optimum performance during Ramadan. If you have any questions, you can feel free to drop those in the chat during the presentation. All right, so I always discuss or start off my discussion with a question to the audience. And our question today is, what really matters to you? As you approach Ramadan, really think about what you want to get out of Ramadan. How would you like your Ramadan this year to be different than last year? And also think about, what does your Ramadan fitness routine look like, especially if this is something that you are going to continue into Ramadan and even after Ramadan. What does your schedule look like, right? So we're going to be talking a little bit about that, as well as how to fuel before and after you work out. I want to share with you today also part of Nutrition Prescriptions framework. So Nutrition Prescriptions is a nutrition consulting firm. Our framework specifically focuses on clarity, making sure that you have the information and a clear path, as well as a clear understanding. We also love to present where you feel free to ask the questions and get the clarity that you deserve. We're huge on offering resources that are evidence-based, that are user-friendly, and that are easy to understand. We also offer guides and templates to just make your life streamlined, especially when it comes to planning your nutrition strategy. We also, of course, offer additional resources that are available depending on what you need and where you are in your health journey. We're keen on support and making sure that you have the support and accountability that you need to help support a sustained lifestyle and behavior changes for improved health outcomes long term. We also offer weekly and monthly sessions just to make sure that you can check in, you can update us on how you're doing, and we can check in and see how your journey is going. So feel free to reach out to us at any time if you have any questions. Why fitness matters during Ramadan. Staying active during Ramadan, of course, helps to basically support better energy levels and mental clarity. Some of us, as we enter Ramadan, we've been physically active before Ramadan. That doesn't have to change, but your strategy does have to change, right? So we want to look at the importance of modifying your fitness routines to align with fasting hours to ensure that you can get the exercise and physical activity in without overexerting yourself. Okay? So we're going to be talking a little bit about tips and strategies related to that today. So let us know if you have questions. There are different types of activities. You have high intensity activity, intensity activities, and then you have low intensity activities and workouts that you can actually do during Ramadan. You just want to make sure that you plan for what your strategy is going to be. During Ramadan, and from experience, and from what others have shared with me, during Ramadan, sometimes we use this time to really look at including low intensity workouts or moderate intensity workouts, right? So focusing on activities like yoga or Pilates or stretching, right? Even low impact cycling, okay? This can be at your home, it can be at a gym. You can go for a walk in the morning before suhoor or after suhoor, and then in the evening before iftar or even after iftar. It really just depends on what your schedule looks like. The idea is that you want to maintain a level of physical activity, right? You can also do light weights if you wanted to, or strength or resistance training to maintain fitness without overexertion. It also depends on the time of day, and we're going to get into a little bit of that. The idea is that we really look at adjusting intensity based on how your body feels when you're fasting. Question: the most energized to work out during Ramadan? For me, it's either in the morning before suhoor or after iftar, after I break my fast. You have to ask yourself, when are some times that you feel most energized to work out? Some of us are going to be working out during the fasting hours, right? So we want to like really look at what our nutrition is going to be if we're going to be working out during those hours. Adjusting your exercise timings while fasting before Fajr, you can engage in your activity. It may be moderate, it may be low. It just depends on how you're feeling. Okay. A good time is to actually do it right before Fajr, moderate activity, and then take that time to fuel and recover with suhoor. Before iftar, like an hour to 45 minutes before you break your fast, you can also do light workouts to boost your energy and then recover with your nutrition from iftar. After iftar, you can do moderate exercises when your body is refueled. Okay. Some people, hit the gym or use their indoor exercise equipment to maximize their activity. This is totally up to you. You can also do, of course, after Tarawih, and this is ideal if you're going to be incorporating resistance and strength training for cardio for those, with late night energy. You pick and choose what works for you. Let's talk a little bit about fueling foods for suhoor. Now, during Ramadan, of course, we're going to take advantage of taking suhoor. There is a blessing in it. We want to make sure that we understand the wisdom of suhoor and the blessing in taking suhoor. It's essential for your fasting day. This is a time when you can get the nutrition that you need to help sustain you for the rest of the day until iftar. Understanding the wisdom of suhoor is important, and setting your alarm, making sure that you are going to make it to get up for a suhoor is important, or even having a partner or a Ramadan buddy, someone you can call, someone you can text, someone that you guys can get up and eat suhoor with. If you're with family, of course, you'll have a spouse or you'll have children. So you'll definitely be getting up for suhoor. Plan your strategy. When we talk about strategy, keep it simple. When we talk about planning our strategy, we're basically just looking and asking, what are we actually going to be eating for suhoor, right? And make it really simple, okay? Keeping it simple is really important to make sure that you're not overwhelmed. It doesn't take a long time to prep suhoor and eat suhoor, and really just looking at what your schedule looks like. We definitely want to focus on slow digesting carbs like oats, right? Whole grain breads, proteins, making sure that you get enough protein, including eggs, Greek yogurt. You can do nuts and seeds. You can do nut butters like almond butter, peanut butter, cashew butter, and then also making sure that you include heart healthy fats like your avocados, your nuts and seeds, and the like. You make sure that you limit fried foods. We're not saying you necessarily have to cut them all out, but you want to make sure that you limit your consumption of fried foods. Okay. What are some suhoor tips that you like to practice? Share with us in the comments. This is one of my favorites, right? So this is basically looking at a very simple option for suhoor. You have oats, right? So you basically have your oats. You can do overnight oats where you have your oats. You can add chia seeds, hemp hearts, flax seeds if you want. And then you can also add almond milk, cashew milk, oat milk. It's your choice. And then you can add Greek yogurt, some type of fruit. Okay, it can be small dates. It can be craisins. It can be apple. It's really up to you. The idea is that you prepare a strategy that works for you, right? This helps make it very easy when you get up in the morning to have suhoor, right? Making sure that it's quick. You put it in a refrigerator at night before you go to sleep. And when you wake up in the morning, you can actually do your overnight oats. This is a really great example. And I like to call this the emergency suhoor, right? So it's really quick, easy to do because you've already prepped it the night before. And then, of course, if you need to, you can also do peanut butter and bananas or peanut butter and apple, yogurt, almonds, dates, okay, to keep it very simple. This is a very simple example of a suhoor option. Okay. The idea is to never skip suhoor. Okay. Again, this is the last feeding opportunity that you have before starting your fasting day. I'd like to go into tips for adding fiber in Ramadan. Adding a vegetable option with suhoor and iftar, okay? Choosing whole grains versus refined grains. And a few options for these are quinoa, your farro, these are different types of grains, your millet, your oats, your barley, your couscous, of course. And then, of course, adding nuts, fruits, and seeds to suhoor. These can easily be added again if you're doing oats or you're doing smoothie, or you want to add them to your cereals. Start with fresh fruits and vegetables at iftar. Of course, many of us are already going to be opening our fast with dates and water. We may follow that up with some type of additional fruit and then soups and salads. Okay, so these are really simple and easy to add for your iftar meals. What are some ways that you like to add fiber in Ramadan? What are some of your favorite ways? Go ahead and drop those in the chat. All right. The key for suhoor is to plan your suhoor out. You can do this 1 week or 2 weeks at a time. Keep it very simple. Include the family. Okay. That's another one, right? You have a spouse, you have kids. What do they like to eat? Okay. Start early, right? Think about the process. Think about what it involves. Are we shopping online? Are we going in person? What does that look like? Okay. Of course, the idea is to prep ahead of time so that we don't skip suhoor, right? And that we have a snack available or a small meal before bed. Okay. Consume plenty of fresh fruits and vegetables, and then making sure that you also hydrate. This is going to be very important, making sure that you hydrate during your non-fasting hours. We want to limit caffeine and sugary beverages, things like coffee and sodas. Okay. We definitely want to limit those. The recommendation actually for caffeine is about 300 milligrams a day. Okay. So that's maybe 2 cups of coffee. So it's not excessive amounts of caffeinated beverages. So make sure that we keep that in mind. 4 components of a healthy suhoor, right? Everyone enjoys suhoor very differently, right? But our tips for Ramadan is to make sure that you include at least 4 of your food groups in your suhoor, okay? The first of these food groups are going to be your complex carbohydrates. We talked a little bit about this. These are going to be your whole grains, brown rice, quinoa, things that are simple to prepare. These carbohydrates are very simple, but they actually offer a good source of glucose and energy for your body. Okay. So we want to make sure that we're choosing complex carbs over simple sugars, right? Like refined breads, processed foods that are often stripped of their nutrients. Okay. Good examples, of course, sweet potatoes, your oatmeal, like we discussed, made with your rolled oats. Okay. Quinoa, whole grains, and breads and cereals. And you may even think of a few more that you can add. Another component is your high fiber foods. Of course, your high fiber foods are going to actually help you keep feeling of fullness for a longer period of time, right? Which is perfect to have at suhoor. High fiber foods will keep you satiated, keep you feeling full. Some of these examples are your flax seeds, your apples, your whole grains, your oatmeal, things like broccoli and spinach, quinoa, beans. Okay, a lot of these you can have not just for suhoor, but also for iftar. Making sure that you include lean protein. Lean protein, there are varied options. Okay, chicken, fish, turkey. It actually helps you stay fuller longer throughout the day. Okay, and it's a vital macronutrient that you actually need. Okay, examples include chicken, your fish, salmon, tuna. You can have Greek yogurt, nuts, eggs, beans. There are both animal-based proteins and plant-based proteins. So you can pick and choose what works for you and how you want to incorporate them into your recipes. Heart healthy fats, those are also very important. And you can enjoy monounsaturated fats and polyunsaturated fats in your meals. These are dressings, these are sauces, these are things like olive oil. Okay. You can kind of pick and choose which ones you want to include. Avocados are very simple and easy. They can be included in smoothies. They can be included in soups and salads. Okay. Coconut oil, extra virgin olive oil, even a handful of seeds or nuts in moderation. Okay. So you have a lot of different options that you can pick and choose from. Make sure that you vary your options, you vary your macronutrients with your meals. For more information, and this is one of my favorite sites, it's called pulses.org. It is a plant-based recipe site, and they offer, earth-friendly recipes that you can use. You can actually go there and you can type in the type of recipe that you want, and they'll pull up different ones. So you have breakfast recipes or lunch recipes. Okay. You have smoothies and snacks. Okay. You also even have desserts. Everything on this site is made from plants. So the beans, your legumes, your chickpeas, your field peas, all of your recipes are actually going to be made with some type of legume. So I encourage you to check it out, explore the recipes, maybe even find a few that you'll use this Ramadan. All right, we're going to move into planning for iftar. When we plan for iftar, as we know, we break our fast, right? After Maghrib, we come back and we actually eat a larger meal. So some things that we want to consider when planning iftar is to, of course, limit your fried foods. We don't want stomach upset or GI issues after fasting a long day. Limit your concentrated sweets. I like to use the rule of one, right, when it comes to portions. And that's basically, if I am going to have something, I'm going to have one serving because I'm one person. That way I don't overdo it. But you can still enjoy what you want to enjoy. Adding things like mixed fruit with yogurt or smoothie for dessert. Increasing fruits and vegetables and lean proteins with your meals. And maybe even starting iftar with a warm soup. I know in our household, we love lentil soup, okay, and vegetable broth-based soups. This actually helps to comfort the stomach after fasting for several hours. It helps to replenish your fluids and prepare the digestive system for the meal. Make sure you include complex, carbohydrate-rich fiber options. Some of these, of course, breaking your fast with dates and water, brown rice, bulgur, quinoa. You can vary your options for iftar. From our Ramadan Reset Guidebook that you'll have access to as well, there are actually 70 different recipes in our book that we offer that you can actually go through and see your recipes. You can go through and see 30 days of meal plans for Ramadan. You can even pick the recipes you like. You can pick the meal plans you like. You'll maybe do a few of them, and then even after Ramadan, you can go back and use the rest of them. This is one example, and it basically really stresses the importance of hydration, right? It stresses the importance of making sure that you include green vegetables options with your meals, lean proteins, complex carbs, and these are just a few examples, okay? Your meals may vary, right? But this serves as a good foundation to see where you can start. Particularly foods that we want to look at limiting before and after fasting for several reasons. These two in particular, before fasting, making sure that you limit caffeine and foods high in refined sugars. Okay. After fasting, you want to make sure that you limit very heavy, high fat meals. And this is basically to help prevent GI discomfort. Okay. So think about the portions when you're planning your meals and what types of foods you're including. How do you manage rest and recovery during Ramadan? Many people are going to manage it in very different ways. Okay. It is important that you get your rest and recovery. Okay. But we also want to look at the importance of electrolytes. So your electrolytes are basically charged minerals, and they help regulate the balance of fluids in and out of your cells through a process known as osmosis. There are several minerals that are important as electrolytes. They include your potassium, your sodium, your magnesium, and your phosphorus. Okay. They also include them for different reasons. So particularly sodium helps actually stimulate the fluid intake and retention within your systems. Potassium actually helps with protein and carbohydrate synthesis, right? And helps keep you fueled during your workout. So again, if you're going to be working out, these are some of the electrolytes that you make sure that you include. Okay. Studies have actually shown that a lack of the adequate amount of sodium can actually lead to cramps. Okay. So you want to make sure that if you're going to be really intensely and heavily working out, that you get between 1.7 and 2.9 grams of sodium during the day. Okay. And this is for very heavy bouts of intense exercises, like you're running at top speeds for longer periods of time. Okay. So you really want to make sure that you're looking also at foods that are going to supply those electrolytes, as well as any supplementation that you may need, depending on your level and intensity and duration of physical activity. One thing I also wanted to discuss a little bit is your vitamin sheet, right? So this is just one of the many resources that are offered. I really like this because it's a great visual, but it basically lets you know the different vitamins, what they are good for in your body, and then where you can actually find vitamins in the foods that you eat. Okay, so the benefit of getting the vitamins from the foods that you eat is that you also get other minerals and things that you need, right? So for instance, and I'll take one instance of sweet potatoes. Yes, you definitely get your vitamin A, right? Antioxidant properties, but you also get a complex carbohydrate, and then you also get fiber. So you don't just get vitamin A. So that's why it's really important that when we look at the types of vitamins that we want to consume, we're also making sure that we get them from food first. Okay, always a food first approach. This is actually included in your Ramadan bundle resource that we will share with you. A bit on building sustainable habits. So really think about as you're going into Ramadan, right? As an opportunity to develop long-term habits. So this is more like a reset. Like, okay, we're going into Ramadan. We have a few weeks left before we get started, but we really want to prepare. We want to look at this as an opportunity to not only plan better, but eat mindfully and then being consistent with light physical activities. Okay. So you want to choose what type of activities am I realistically going to do, if any, during Ramadan? How consistent are they going to be? Is it going to be 30 minutes a day? Is it going to be in the morning or the evening? And really just think out and map out what your strategy is going to look like. Okay. Jot it down, write it down, get your journal out. Okay. Set realistic goals, right? That can be maintained even after Ramadan. So you want to ease into it, set realistic goals, set the stage as an opportunity for whatever is done in Ramadan to actually carry over. I mentioned the Ramadan Taste of Faith bundle. Basically, in this bundle, you actually get the Ramadan Reset Guidebook. It's a complete healthy eating Ramadan plan for 30 days. You get your smoothie builders. You get different ethnic recipes, which are really great. And then you also get additional resources, including foods found in Quran and prophetic tradition, as well as a lot more. Two of my favorite items are the Ramadan dua booklets, and they're full color dua booklets. And those are also available in the Ramadan bundle. So if you'd like to check that out, you can go ahead and download it by scanning the QR code. Okay. So yes, this is something we've developed over the years, and we've added to it and just made it a full-fledged resource available to you. Alhamdulillah. We make dua, and we do hope and pray that Allah allows us to reach Ramadan and that He blesses it for us and accepts it from us, inshallah. Thank you.